Ethan waiting alone, New York City. Rain poured over the streets as neon lights reflected across the wet pavement. It was 2:13 a.m. when Ethan Parker stepped down into the 23rd Street subway station. The city above was still alive with distant sirens and traffic, but underground, everything felt dead. Ethan tightened his hoodie and looked around the empty station. No passengers, no workers, no sound except the faint hum of flickering lights. He checked the subway map. Last train, 2:17 a.m. Perfect, he whispered. Ethan had stayed late at college finishing a film project, and now all he wanted was to get home, crawl into bed, and forget the exhausting day. He sat alone on a cold metal bench near the tracks. The station lights buzzed softly overhead. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Then one of them flickered violently. Ethan looked up. For a split second, he thought he saw someone standing at the far end of the platform. But when the light stabilized, nothing was there. He exhaled nervously. Just tired, he told himself. He pulled out his phone. No signal. Again. That's strange. Usually there was at least one bar of service down here. Then the speakers crackled unexpectedly. Attention passengers. The downtown train is arriving shortly. The voice sounded distorted, almost broken. Ethan looked toward the tunnel. Darkness. No train lights. No sound. Just a cold, black tunnel stretching endlessly into nowhere. A sudden chill crawled down his spine. Then, footsteps, slow, heavy, echoing through the station. Ethan turned quickly. At the opposite end of the platform stood a tall man dressed entirely in black. Long coat, black gloves, black hat, and a smile so wide it looked painful. The man wasn't moving. He simply stood there, staring directly at Ethan, unblinking. Ethan forced a nervous laugh. "Hey, man!" No response. The stranger's smile never changed. Ethan stood up slowly, gripping his backpack tighter. "Look, I don't want any trouble." Still nothing. Then the lights flickered again, and in that brief flash of darkness, the smiling man had moved closer, much closer. Ethan's stomach dropped. He hadn't heard footsteps. He hadn't seen him walk. But now the man stood halfway down the platform, still smiling, still staring. Ethan backed away toward the tracks. His breathing became uneven. "What the hell?" The station speakers suddenly screamed with static. The lights dimmed red for a moment, and then Ethan noticed something horrifying. The man's feet were moving, but his upper body remained completely still, like he was gliding instead of walking, like something pretending to be human. Ethan pulled out his phone with shaking hands and started recording. The smiling man tilted his head slowly, almost curious. Then he whispered something, too quiet to understand. Ethan took another step backward. His shoe slipped near the edge of the platform. Behind him, the dark subway tunnel stretched endlessly. In front of him, the smiling man kept coming closer, closer, closer. Then suddenly, every light in the station shut off. Complete darkness. Ethan gasped. The entire world disappeared into black silence, except for one thing, floating in the darkness. That smile, bright white teeth hanging in the void, and then a whisper came from directly behind Ethan's ear. "You should smile too," Ethan screamed. The lights exploded back on. The platform was empty. No smiling man, no footsteps, nothing. Ethan shook violently as he checked his phone recording. The camera showed only Ethan standing alone, terrified, speaking to empty air. Then the audio changed. A second voice whispered through the speaker. Not Ethan's, not human. "He can see me now." The video glitched. The screen turned black, and Ethan Parker was never seen again. Thanks for watching. See you in the next viral video. Like, subscribe, and share.